This is from Jisoo in Seoul. It was one heck of a Monday morning, even for a Monday in middle of the pandemic. It was supposed to be a harmless rant to my cat. Instead, it became a performance I never meant to give. It was our weekly alignment meeting. No one turns on their camera. Everyone mutes. The only voice is Mr. Lee, our team lead, who sounds like he was programmed by HR to say things like driving value across verticals. Usually, I just zone out, but that morning, I was extra tired, extra sarcastic, and, as it turns out, extra unmuted. I was in full work from home mode, hoodie, bedhead, coffee, and a chipped mug. My laptop was propped on a box because my desk was cluttered with ramen cups. I had no idea what the meeting was about. Some project update, some report no one reads. I opened Slack, scrolled a bit, and waited for the meeting to end itself. Then Dodo, my orange cat, jumped into my lap like he had opinions. He looked just as bored as I felt. I whispered, "Here we go again. Mr. Lee and the magical PowerPoint tour." He meowed like he agreed, so I kept talking, softly, just to him. Or so I thought. I muttered, "Synergy this, synergy that." He just says the same 5 words in a different order. Dodo sneezed. I laughed. Then I did a full impression. Let's touch base cross-functionally to maximize forward momentum. It was stupid, but I was proud of it. I even bowed to the cat like I'd finished a show. And then the chat lit up. "Jisoo, your mic? Wait, was that her?" I froze. A skull emoji popped up. Someone typed OMG and then immediately deleted it. I glanced at the screen, and there it was. That cursed green mic icon. On. Still. On. Panic hit hard. I scrambled for the mute button, opened the wrong window, cursed softly, which didn't help. Finally, I slammed the mute icon like it owed me money. But the damage? Done. I sat back in my chair, hands trembling. Dodo purred. I seriously considered launching him out the window. One by one, people started turning on their cameras. First, a few teammates, then more, and then Mr. Lee. His camera came on. He looked directly at me, or at least it felt like it. His expression didn't change. No smile, no frown, just a long, unreadable blink. Honestly, that was worse. No one said anything. He kept talking, calmly, like nothing had happened. But now I couldn't hear a word. My ears were ringing. My cheeks were burning. I looked down at Dodo. Still loafed in my lap like nothing was wrong. Traitor. The meeting dragged on, but I stopped listening. All I could think was, did I say his name? Did I use a voice? I replayed the whole rant in my head, and it only got worse each time. Then Slack went quiet. No jokes. No messages. Just silence. Which somehow made it all feel even louder. When the meeting finally ended, I didn't even leave the call properly. I just stared at my screen like it had insulted my ancestors. My hands were still on the keyboard, frozen in position. I hadn't blinked in minutes. The worst part? No one messaged me. Not even the people who always message after awkward moments. I opened Slack, half hoping someone would send a laughing emoji. Or at least a "lol, you okay?" Nothing. Not even the intern who once messaged me during a fire drill just to say, "Vibes?" It was like I'd become radioactive, untouchable. Too cringe to be comforted. Then my email pinged. It was from Mr. Lee. Subject: "Let's follow up briefly." No emojis. No exclamation point. Just that. I stared at it for 5 minutes straight. Didn't open it. Just let it sit there like a bomb, with a timer I couldn't stop. I paced around my apartment. Vacuumed the same spot 4 times. Brushed Dodo. Brushed my own hair. Ate an old rice cracker out of stress. I tried to draft an apology, but every version sounded weird. Sorry for mocking your tone. Apologies for sounding like you. I deleted every one. Fun fact, in one study, over 60% of remote workers said they'd said something out loud during a video call they didn't mean to share. One person accidentally sang the chorus of a K-pop song, full volume while their boss was presenting. Here's another example. Someone muttered, "This could have been an email," right as their mic turned on. And someone else got caught mid-rant to their dog about how boring their coworkers were, only to realize they were still broadcasting to 30 people. We've all been there, and most people forget it faster than we think. Anyway, that night I couldn't sleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying everything I said, trying to remember exactly how dramatic I sounded. I kept picturing Mr. Lee's face, that calm, unreadable stare. It haunted me, like a passive-aggressive ghost in a business casual shirt. At 2 a.m., I texted my best friend, "Can I be fired for being annoying?" She replied, "Legally, probably not. Socially, yes. Not helpful, but not wrong either." Then she sent a gif of a cat falling off a desk. Somehow, that made me feel seen. The next morning, I showed up to our one-on-one Zoom call 5 minutes early, sweaty, overdressed, over-apologetic energy radiating off me. Mr. Lee joined exactly on time. His background was still blurred, but he looked normal, calm, too calm. That was terrifying. I started rambling immediately. "I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to offend. I wasn't trying to, it was just a stupid joke to my cat." He held up a hand and said, "You're not the first. I've been told I sound like a GPS system before." Then, I swear, he smiled. Just a little. I blinked. "Wait, what?" I said. Mr. Lee shrugged. "Someone once called me Google Maps with Wi-Fi issues." Then he added, "Don't worry, I've heard worse. Some of it even accurate." I couldn't believe it. He wasn't mad. He was making fun of himself. Then he said, more seriously, "But I do want to know, how are you, really?" That caught me off guard. Not a follow-up, not a warning, just a question. I blinked a few times trying to reboot my brain, and then, unexpectedly, I told him the truth. I said I've been feeling burned out, tired of pretending to care about words like optimization and cross-collab, tired of feeling like my camera being off meant I had to be invisible too. He nodded, didn't interrupt, just let me talk. And weirdly, that helped more than I expected. He told me he'd noticed I seemed quieter in recent months, less present, less vocal, and that maybe this whole incident, mic, cat, sarcasm and all, was just pressure leaking through a small crack. I laughed, a little embarrassed. He didn't laugh. He just said, "Cracks mean something's being held together." Before the call ended, he asked if I wanted to take a half day. No punishment, no passive-aggressive HRCC. Just go rest your voice, both the internal and external one. I smiled. It was the first time in months I didn't feel like just a head in a square box. Later that week, I joined another Zoom call, this time camera off, mic definitely off. Mr. Lee talked about deliverables. Someone mentioned Q4 targets. But for once, I just listened. No snark, no muttering, just quiet. Dodo climbed into my lap again. He blinked up at me, expecting commentary. I scratched behind his ear and whispered, "No jokes today. You got us in enough trouble." He yawned, unbothered as ever. Truly the only creature immune to workplace shame. I still cringe when I think about that morning. The sound of my own voice echoing across that call. The silence afterward. The chat messages. The utter horror. But I also think, maybe it was the first honest moment I'd had at work in months. It's strange how quickly embarrassment can turn into connection. All that time, I thought I had to perform. Be perfectly muted. Perfectly professional. But messing up reminded me I was still a person. And maybe, just maybe, other people were too. Now, every Monday morning, I double-check my mic before logging in. Sometimes I still joke with Dodo, but only in whispers. And I keep that email from Mr. Lee starred in my inbox. Not as a warning, as a reminder that being human isn't always a mistake. If you've ever said the wrong thing at the wrong time and wanted to melt into the floor, leave a comment. We've all done it. And sometimes, those moments become exactly what we need to stop hiding, If you want more stories like this, subscribe for more.